Feels good in here. Oops.
You want to shut that door, or we?
We have to leave it open because it's a public meeting.
We always leave it open?
We do. We don't usually.
Okay.
Okay, well, we do now.
Okay, good. I'm happy to see people.
Yeah, we've never.
Okay, this is all happening. Is this like a live stream, or is it just a? Okay.
It is live stream.
Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Would you please call roll? Oh wait. Oh yes, you.
I get to
Yay!
do it.
Miss Jennifer, would you please call roll for us?
Absolutely. So we have, we have Miss Virginia Raines.
Present.
All right, and we've got Nancy Blair. I'm so
Present.
sorry. Oh my goodness, I can't read things. Jake Niles.
Yep.
And we have Charlotte Herrick. We'll get it one of these days, I promise. Nikki Huckabee and Linda Barta. I'm out of order and it's throwing me.
All right. Guys, we're all here.
So we got
have that out.
everybody.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's move on to item number 2. Consideration, discussion, action on the consent agenda, and item A, approval of the minutes from the regular meeting June 1st, 2022. And you have those in front of you. Want to take a gander?
See, and we're officially starting at 4:22? I hear you get that? Okay, perfect. Okay, just making sure.
All right.
All right, cool.
Nice.
Yes.
It's like we're all working together here. We're like a well-oiled machine.
That's right.
Now, I have looked these over. I feel pretty good about them.
I make a motion to accept the minutes from 7th of September.
For the
No,
consent
June
agenda
1st.
items, you don't have to do them individually.
You don't?
You do not.
Oh, wow.
You can
Could you say-
approve any, you can approve the whole consent agenda.
Oh, man. I'm so happy you're here to tell us all this stuff.
Or if you have an item that you would like to take out of consent, you
Uh-huh.
can put that on item 3.
Okay.
And then you can discuss it.
No.
But
All right.
if you are all okay with the items on consent agenda, you can just.
So we'll save it to the end.
So
Okay.
we will save it.
All right. So let's talk about the financial report. Is that you, Jen?
Got a lot.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say, I think if it's on the consent agenda, it's considered a report, and it's not something that we could really talk
Okay,
much
cool.
about.
So I guess
don't
if,
really have much info on it. It's
so just we look it over, and if you have any questions, we can ask questions. If not, we'll move on to Tristan. I got a little binder. It's this official library binder, and I'm gonna 3-hole punch these things. I'm gonna start putting.
Well, very good.
Hey.
Pretty excited about it.
I've got a 3-hole punch right back there.
Well,
Ready to go?
yeah, I know. I got my binder. I even made a little cover for it. Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions or anything about that?
Is there anything that has just really changed on this that you know of? I mean,
Financial report?
the budget and
I'm trying.
any of that?
Are you satisfied with
Nothing
it?
looks
That's what.
abnormal, like from last year's, you know, kind of going in, so this will be my first full year of actually getting like a full budget and get to really look at
Uh-huh.
it. And it looks pretty consistent, like compared to the other one. And some numbers are a bit higher, and that's because we went ahead and opened POs like for the whole year and everything, so it's been encumbered, but it hasn't been, yeah, filled out
Awesome.
yet, so that's why everything looks a little bit wonky. Other than that, yeah, like for our supplies and everything, I just took that number, divided it by 12, and then I'm trying to stay underneath that, and then at the year end by surplus, like do we need extra paper towels for next year? So it's just,
So did our budget change a lot for this year from the year before?
I was gonna say, I don't, not really. I think our biggest one would be for, where is it, like payroll, because we don't have like the clean crew that we used to, we have a different one, and that comes out of like contract services and, I was gonna say, last year's got thrown off a bit because we had the other directors, but, see, I'm here now, so, if, that's not true, I think it did go up a little bit just because everybody got a little pay raise.
Oh,
this last one,
good.
So, yeah.
Hey, congratulations. Yeah.
But your book, where you can
Yeah.
buy books and things, that's pretty much the same.
I'm pretty sure if it's not, it's like It's real close.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's like, I'd have to have the other one like right beside us, like.
Yeah, I
don't remember there being
understand.
anything
Well,
else,
but if
like-
nothing sticks out to you, it's a problem. I mean, as long as you're happy with numbers and everything's looking good, then I think.
That's good.
If you're not like, oh, I don't have the money I need. All right, what about the trust report? We got that in front of us too.
And that one's more up.
Oh, you don't have to tell me, but you can.
Just one little tidbit I did have is that the glass guys came and got the key this morning. They said that they're officially done now.
Okay, so this, they said they were gonna be done, so that last little bit, we should be
Yep.
able to pay them?
Yes, we already have it like ready to go. We just waited. And then I do need Brian, one other trust member, and I to go look at it, approve it, and then have the meeting to sign the check.
So we completed the work then?
They did on the windows and
Yeah.
the doors.
Okay, because I went by last time, I thought there was still like a little paint.
There was still wood there this
There was,
morning,
yes.
so
Yeah.
they
But it should be.
Not today, not today.
Okay.
I said just,
Okay.
you know, okay.
Oh, yeah, it
Couple
was
days
early.
ago.
Yeah, as of today, it should be. I haven't looked yet. I need
Okay.
to. That's my plan after this.
Okay, cool. Well, looks great.
And so where did all this money come from?
It was a combination between Friends and the funds that the trust had already. And it was like a 50-50 split. I think it was pretty close to that. Um, The grant thing, I'm hoping to have more information. We are applying for it through there, but we haven't been awarded it yet. The time has been extended, so it's due now in October instead of September. So we're trying to maximize our time and double look it over.
Grand Scribe, that's through the city, like we hired them, right?
Yes.
Remember that? Okay, cool. Very cool.
is she doing the work on it?
She's writing the narrative, and yeah, I mean we have two people. We have what's his name? I'll think of it in a second. I know it. Noelle's working with him, and that's who I've been mostly talking to, and she's been getting back with me, and so it's every week she's got new questions, and it's like, here's your giant list of
I
answers.
noticed that Brian had written some things.
And as soon as we get like the narrative finished, I plan on sending it to everybody, to take one last look over it. It's still got holes at the moment.
So where does the other 150,000 come from?
That's
where
the
I need help.
fundraising.
Yeah. That's the fundraising. So
It's
it
gonna
is
be
a
a
one.
really successful barbecue.
I guess.
Well, we do, and that's later on in our agenda too. But yes, we have to raise the other 150. So it's,
Now, have they checked to see if there's any ARP funds that the library could have, like out of the 17 million that Payne County got, or that Lincoln County got? Because we're in Lincoln County now. And Mr. Wallace said he'd keep us in mind but I just don't know whether anybody's working on it or not,
and
like,
that was ARPA or,
well, what do they call it?
Yeah, the ARPA funds, so
Is
there's
it? Okay.
recovery.
Also, the Oklahoma City Community Foundation gets money from people that are willing to spend it outside of Oklahoma City. I read where I forget who they gave some to, but that would be worth looking into to see if somebody was fond of libraries.
no, sounds good. I'm building up my list of people and getting ready to politely bug.
Anybody else have anything on the trust? All right, library director's report. Got that? I looked
I
it
think,
over.
yeah, I think I sent you guys this one a little bit earlier. This is, what the commission is getting, or got.
When I looked over all those numbers, is that pretty consistent as far as like our door count and those sort of things?
Our door count has been up since May. we're back to pre-COVID numbers, so yay. And it's fluctuating. We're like slightly lower in some, and then like way higher in other, but it's averaging out like pretty well to pre-COVID numbers on like our adult materials. It's oddly a little bit down, but our juvenile ones are still like crazy high, so yay. And yeah, we've had like, pretty consistent around 20 new patrons every month, so that's exciting.
Wonderful.
It's like, where are you all coming from?
Yeah, that's,
I noticed your Black Libby is almost not too much lower than
Right, which I will say this, our Libby's actually down this month, like a little bit. Like, well, and I, with school getting ready to start, like it does make, like, I look back at previous years, and yeah, I've noticed it tends to drop right in August, right when school starts, everyone's getting ready for that, and everyone's going on their road trips.
Vacations,
And
yeah.
so it's like, oh, okay, but then it seems to pick back up in September. Any clubs we got going on?
yeah, that's good. I mean, it gets kids in. And you have quite, I mean, a good turnout for those for the most part?
We
I mean,
just
you did
had,
during the summer, I mean, you,
oh, we had,
yeah.
we were very proud of our turnout this summer. But yeah, our, where is it? In fact, Nikki's, Summer of STEM thing went over so good that we, managed to talk our kids into doing a STEAM thing on every Tuesday, and we're going to be rotating through the different letters.
Yeah.
So, and we didn't expect very many for our last one, but I want to say we had like 10, maybe, which from 0 to 10, like, yeah, it's a big jump. So we're like, hey. Oh, and we are going to be sending out little packet, like a flyer
did
thing
this-
with our
oh, okay.
folders, but we just got approved this morning, like to send them out, because that got hung up with the intermediate school being temporarily closed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Some-
Okay. That's it.
Now we can make a motion if someone wants to.
Now I can make it. Okay, I make a motion to accept the consideration and action on the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
All right. This is how I do the all in favor?
Charlotte.
Okay. All in favor, or do I have to do?
Oh,
individual?
okay.
Oh, yeah, you're doing it again. Yes.
So Virginia,
Yes?
all right, and then Nancy,
Yes.
and Jake,
Yep.
Charlotte, Nikki. Yes. And, oh, sorry. And then it does it, I'm sorry. I gotta take her off that. All right.
Okay, let's move to item number 3. Public appearances, petitions, remonstrances, communications, and personal appearances. You have anything there?
I don't have anything.
Yeah, cool. Let's go to number 4. Wait, do I not know how to use? Okay. I guess 5. Consideration, discussion, and possible.
I messed that
No,
up.
it's-
I didn't realize
it's
that until I
fine.
started counting them, and I went, I butchered that this time. Yes,
I'll
it's
just
on
I'll just write it
sorry,
in. It's
on the Roman numerals.
the Roman numerals.
Oh.
That's number 4.
Or none of us caught that. Sorry. It's technically number 4.
4, 5. Consideration, discussion, and possible action to review the statement of purpose as required quadrennially. That's a new word.
Apparently
That's a
that
new.
means every 4 years.
That's a new word for me. By Oklahoma Department of Libraries. So. Sorry.
They pick a new thing to give me every year that they want us to either look at. Usually it's stuff that I can do by myself, but every 4 years, you guys get to update this. And I did check with them because the last time we reaffirmed it was in the summer of 21, and they're like, doesn't matter, needs to say 22.
Oh.
Okay. So if there's anything we need to change or to update, or if we're just reviewing and reaffirming.
I read it. It just looks good to me. There's nothing I would want to change or add or.
Do you have any recommendations of anything?
Not on this one.
Okay.
On the list. So then then I just.
So do you need someone to
Yep.
move that we accept the library statement of purpose?
So, will that work for verbiage work? Okay, then yes.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you did it. I thought you did it.
All right, so Charlotte,
Yes.
and then Jake, and Nancy,
Yes.
and Virginia,
Yes.
let's see, and Nikki. Yes. Awesome.
Vicki, you're doing a great job over there today.
Yeah.
Can.
Really proud of you.
Go out of order.
I'll speak when I'm supposed to.
Yeah, no, well, that you did, I just making sure. All right,
Circulation.
consideration, discussion, possible action to review the circulation policy. Is this one that you had some
No,
ideas on?
mine's
Or?
the next one. I had a question, but,
So you're good with this one?
I think so, yes. Like, and, because it got updated not too,
Yeah, I think we did this
yeah.
not that long ago. I remember doing these things.
I make a motion, we approve the circulation policy.
I'll second it.
All right, so we got Nancy
Yes.
and Nikki,
Yes.
and let's see, Charlotte,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
and Virginia. All right, then internet.
All right, let's move on to consideration, discussion, possible action to review the internet use policy. And here we got some ideas.
Well, the girls brought something up where we have the kids come in after school, and currently you have to be, I'm like 90% sure it's 12 and up, and have your library card and have your parents sign the internet release thing. But we don't have a whole lot of 12-year-olds, we have 9-year-olds, because the rule is you have to be 9 or older to come by yourself. So the question is, could we make it 9 and up with the parents' internet release thing? Because we've had trouble where parents have gone, but I signed the thing, why can't they get on? And they have their card. And so, yeah, now the question is, do you think we could drop that down to 9, or would that, I didn't think to check with Tammy, would that be an issue? I thought it was 12 because it used to be 12 and older to be here alone, but then that got dropped down to accommodate our middle school crowd.
This is, yeah, it's probably a Tammy
Tammy question?
Tammy is our attorney. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if she came and did a board kind of presentation for you guys or not.
I don't think I've met.
Tammy Ewing is our city attorney.
She's the one that lives in Tulsa.
Yes, yes.
Oh, check, so I'm not seeing it. Maybe it's on our internet. Hang on, I'll be right back because maybe it's not on this.
Because I read it and I didn't see
Hang on,
that.
I wonder if it's on the search. Right back.
Everything else seems reasonable to me. I don't run into any
Okay.
problems.
So it's not in that policy thing, but it's still on our card application. I know I read 12 somewhere.
Well, on here it only says they have to be under 18
Okay.
to show their stuff.
Here, one second, I'll do it. I'm out, I'm sorry.
We can
I'll
share.
another one. And it's like, yeah, the first dot.
12 November.
It's down here.
So with that, I think the item that's on the agenda is this item, so that's what they
Right.
would be approving.
Okay, and I think that is based off of this and to my knowledge.
Okay.
Because if it's okay here, then I can adjust that. That's just something that we came up with, yeah.
This is
The
your
two-
library card application.
Right.
The two forms are conflicting because this one says
is under 18 must show their library card, and then the form they fill out is 12 and over, must have the library card.
I see that.
Under general rules, general.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very-
it's line number 3 under there.
Okay.
But I'm thinking there was a reason that we set that age level. Because we didn't want, kids just being everywhere without supervision.
I was gonna say, well, and on it is, you have to be nine to be here without an adult, and they're perfectly fine with that. We want to keep that.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that's not an issue.
Do you feel like they would be, as 9-year-olds, they'd be responsible on the computers by themselves?
We do have pretty good filtering, so it's like they can't really get into much trouble.
Yeah.
And the main reason we were asking is because we do have the technology and
Yeah.
like the computer-based game things, and we just want to make sure if we do proceed more with that we're not crossing anything on accident. And most of the time they're
How do the 12-year-olds do on the computer? Are they working on like schoolwork? Are they playing games or what?
So usually when they're here, it's after school, and yeah, it's usually some kind of a game. Although they struggle to remember the website, so we usually push the the coding Minecraft ones and things like that. And they're like, yeah, that'll work.
Is there a time limit? Do they only get a certain amount of
There
time?
is, and I'm
Yeah, someone's waiting, right?
pretty sure it's the same as the adults. I want to say it's an hour, and then they can have up to 2 sessions a day. And it's one of those where if they come and tell us before it expires, we can extend it, but once it shuts down, we can't do anything. So if somebody was working on schoolwork, we could extend that.
Well, and this says children 9 and older may not be left unattended if their behavior becomes disruptive.
Yes. We have
And I'm
that.
assuming if the parents have filled this out, then that's kind of their okay that their child can be on the computer, right?
I was like, so if it's not an issue on here, could I just eliminate that whole 12 line then? Because it's already mentioned with the 9, and but if it already says the 18 and they do show their card, and that's more of a, I intend to be responsible. Look, I've kept up with my card this whole time.
Well, and then down at the bottom it says children age 8 and younger must be accompanied. And you're wanting to just take it down to 9.
I do need to change the word. Well, no, wait. I think we left that in there because some people were confused where we had 9 and older can be here by themselves, 8 and younger need an adult.
Okay. But you're still wanting it to just be 9, right?
Well,
So I'm kind of confused.
would it be better just to eliminate that? Because then if they're 9 and up, they could use the internet, and be here without a parent. But if they're 8 and under, they're going to have a parent here anyway, so it's not.
Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see how it is on here? Do you need a copy?
I'm sorry. I thought I brought enough.
See, there's this one that's 9, and then there's that one that's 8.
That's 12 and 8.
Right, and that.
But then up here it says
I still think we need to say if they're not disruptive, you need an excuse to say, hey, you're not doing what you're
I was
expected
gonna
to
say,
do.
and this one I can alter, because this one's something that we made up based on the other one.
Do you have to scold many of them? Or are there certain ones that?
We have not had a problem since I've been here.
if they were misbehaving on the computer, would that be disruptive? Because could you, if you classify it under that, then you can go down to 9. Because
If they start hitting things, yeah, I'm gonna be like, you need to go home.
It's kind of repetitive, but kind of
Right,
doesn't
we-
go
we
together
try to make
either.
it repetitive.
Yeah, I know, but
Um,
then it kind of contradicts too, so.
That just refers to the ones that are disruptive.
Yeah, I
Right.
think that's the only thing.
Just they don't have access, like, just because you're 9 doesn't mean you can't have to be here. It's like,
I think, yeah, with the 8 one, we
it
just.
gives you the excuse to kick them out.
Yeah, we just tried to be repetitive where you had to read it at the beginning and
Right.
then you had to read it again right before you signed
Right.
it of, and they're the same thing of children 8 and younger must always have an adult.
Uh-huh.
And the 9 one's the only one where we try to make it clear, like, if you're 9 and up, you can be here by yourself, but if you're gonna misbehave, you may be asked to leave.
You're not saying that a 9-year-old can't be on the computer, right?
Well,
Well,
the
down here
problem
it
that we
is.
had is this dot, that's the issue.
12 and over must have a card.
But if it's not conflicting with
They
our
must have a
policy
card. It
Right,
just says
well-
they must have a card with them.
to access the computer.
So do 9 and under 9-year-olds not have
That's
a
the
card?
problem that we have had, where it says 12. The 9-year-olds
Uh-huh.
do have a card, but.
Oh, okay, so you need it to say
I'm
9 and
debating on
over
taking
must
that
have.
whole thing off. I thought it said somewhere in the policy 12 and, where they had to be 12 and over, but I'm not seeing it in there.
I think we leave the policy the same, but on the card application, take out the 12 and over line completely.
That works.
Because that's where it's conflicting.
You can
Because 9's fine, and if they're younger than that, their parents are in serious responsibility.
So what you're approving is just
To
This,
keep
and then we'll
this-
change it, yeah.
I can change this on my own, we don't need
Yeah.
anything for that, but yeah, we can go ahead and approve the internet.
We've made a decision, we're not officially approving it with this vote. Everyone knows that, we're approving this. You got it.
Right.
And I just feel-
I make a motion that we approve the internet use policy right here.
I'll second it.
Yes, I'm so sorry. Okay, we had, who, all right, so
Yes.
Nancy, and then it was Nikki, also, and then Charlotte, and Jake,
Yes.
and Virginia.
Yes.
I'm wondering if I didn't have a second page. I don't think I did.
Are we talking about?
On this one, I was just wondering, like, I was second guessing myself, I'm like, I may have to go double check to make sure I'm not missing.
There's not more on the
like a
internet
back
use
page
that
or
we
something.
missed.
To be fair, I started working on this like a month ago.
Well, we just approved this page right here. That's what I touched.
They get the packets here. They just get the agenda emailed to them.
So this information was picked up
Yes, we got it here.
tonight?
Yes.
Not before. Yeah, if you wanna go see if there's a second page.
Just double check, just make sure I don't, because that was the only one where it really had potential. All right, and December 10th. So I'll be right back.
We're here. Now, I know, I'm just kind of running this thing, I'm not important, but if you guys wanted to look over that selection policy while we waited, you know, it'd probably be beneficial. That
Is
was
that what you would tell your students? Are you treating us as students?
I am just trying to talk to people to kill time.
Oh. You're doing great.
Thank you. I needed someone to say that. I was just fishing for compliments.
Selecting things for the collection must be. You select these that are on the bestsellers list and,
Someone's gonna have an issue with it, especially nowadays.
well, but then they may not be popular, but for a little while, and there you got it on your shelf.
Flight survey to Washington DC.
How does that,
In November. It was like
but,
275.
and if you have it on your shelf, it's there for good, huh?
No, they go through them every 3 years, I
That's where they
think.
get them on the shelf out there?
Dragging up there.
Is that based on just the amount it's been checked out?
Starts a new job.
Is that in the code?
If it's been checked out at all.
So her and Matt and her husband picture, I just love
Isn't that anywhere in here? I guess that's a different policy.
Yeah, I don't know. That's gotta be a different policy. I didn't see it. I read it real quick.
So, anyway, they've got a couple of weeks.
That's true. Then you want to do it.
I'm going to Baylor.
Okay, that's what you always go see, daughter.
Yes, I haven't been for quite some time.
Does he have scattered.
I think I should sing a song for all the people that are watching online.
Oh, yes.
Do you think there are 2 people watching?
You know, I'd be interested to see.
It's recorded, so when I first was hired, I went back and reviewed a lot of commission live streams.
Yeah.
So if you start singing, it's like held in Never Never Land.
Oh wow, forever.
Yeah.
Well, I think
So
I should.
I
I
hope
should
you're
treat
a
the
good
world.
singer.
I think I should treat the world with that. Yeah.
I'll be famous forever.
Forever.
The hills.
Okay. Good news, bad news. We can leave the motion just as it is because this one doesn't say anything about that either. Bad news is I left off the second half of this one and the next one, but it's just those 2.
So do we have?
So this is page 11.
It looks like it's fine. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't see anything.
This is internet.
Yes, this is all internet. And I got one for you. And then for the next one, I got a little bit more too. Sorry.
Now it's selection.
This is for the next one.
I was gonna say, longer, but a page.
I tried to do something fancy on the printer and section these out into the first one. which is-
Wow, this is a lot of. Oh, weeding.
That's for the second one.
It is weeding. That's what we're talking
This
about.
ones for the next movement, or the next
For the
policy.
selection
Yeah,
policy.
the first page was just for the internet. This one's for the next. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I'm so sorry.
So does our approval still,
Yes, it's good.
So,
If you're okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're still good with it.
I'm good with it.
Okay.
how do you, just for, you know, my, you know, just so I know, what would be the process if we had to go, ooh, we have to go back and look? Do you have to like just
Based on this-
reopen it or something?
Yeah,
or-
based on this new information, Nancy could amend
Rescind-
her motion.
Oh, okay.
And Nikki could amend.
And then we go back and talk and then
Yes.
decide. Okay. I've been edified.
Okay.
Okay.
See, you learned something.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That was good.
Is there anything about this next one that?
No, this is pretty much the same thing that we have used, and at the moment, like, we don't have anything new or weird that's come up. And this one I did look over while I was at the desk. I think I had Jen check it out, because she's the one that kind of helps, like, to curate more like the adult side and everything, and she helps do like the book purchasing and most of the weeding. And what happens is one of the girls go, is anyone checking this out? And Jen looks at it further and goes, no. And we have different processes of if no one's been interested in it for a certain amount of years, or if it's been beaten to a pulp, usually it gets retired and then replaced.
A new one.
So, but yeah, unfortunately, due to limited size, however many come in is pretty much what has to go out. So we pick the ones that, and usually it's something like it wasn't checked out in the last 2 to 3 years or something like that. So it's been a bit.
So do you move it to the book sale, or do you put things
Yes,
on?
well, yeah, a little bit of both. Usually, if it's from here, it goes to book sale. But donations that come in, if it doesn't get added to the collection, they do look at it, and some of them, we don't have any currently that are on eBay. If it's of a slightly higher value, it goes on the special rent table, and they're marked a little bit differently, but yeah, it all goes to book sale, and then that money goes to friends, and then back to us. It all gets recycled.
Oh, good.
It is like,
Okay. Okay, I make a motion
Okay.
to accept
Or selection.
of library materials.
Then I need a second.
I'll second it.
You're second. You're on point.
She learned that from me.
So Miss Virginia,
Yes.
and then Nikki,
Yes.
and Charlotte,
Yes.
and Jake,
Yes.
and Nancy.
Yes.
Yay.
All right, let's discuss this fundraising opportunity.
I don't have a paper for you. That's where I need help.
You need our input to create
I
a
need
paper.
ideas.
Well, Charlotte's already had a couple different things that
She did.
we discussed. What would we do without her?
Oklahoma City Community Foundation. I'll look more into that, and I gotta see what's even open with our guy. I did talk to Bob this morning, and he gave me some names of some people to talk to around town. And I'm trying to put together a more condensed version of our commission reports, or library director reports. So I've got something to take in, so they have actual numbers to look at. And I'm hoping to do something where I can kind of show it through the months, like how it's gotten better.
Might have, if our population is growing.
I am hoping to get some of those numbers. I need to look into that a bit more, because like I try to look up like the census, and I'm like, well, you're no help. It was a couple of years like back, the one that I could find. So I'm trying to find more up-to-date info.
Has the school grown?
Yes.
Well, and that, I contacted Stacy Boyd at the superintendent's office and asked for the growth of the district, like at least within the last 5 years, but more if they had it. Mr. McElroy was supposed to email that and never got it, so that may be something that you could contact him, and he might be more likely to
And what was his name?
connect with you. Mr. McElroy, the superintendent. He
Oh,
has the
okay.
numbers of the district and how many students we've had, and each
Okay.
year it's grown, so you can show a need
Yeah.
for a larger library. To go to the schools.
I would think
New.
City Hall would be able to get you added, you know, sewer, gas, all those kinds of things. They should have a way to give you a number also on those accounts.
On what accounts, Linda?
Yeah, how much the town has grown.
You think of all the new houses that have been built in the last year or two, it's
Right.
bound to.
And they're still building.
So that list of names that he gave you, what, just to like show them the need and ask them for money, or for help in fundraising?
I think I mean, my plan is to go in there, kind of introduce myself, being like, this is all the wonderful things the library's doing, and then I'm kind of interested in whatever help I can get. So if they're willing to donate stuff, I mean, I will absolutely take that. But yeah, if they have maybe know somebody or some kind of fundraising event that's worked for someone else in the past, like, and that's actually one of my questions is, have we had any fundraisers around here that like didn't do so well, or do we have anything that has worked? Like, I know the elementary school does like the spaghetti dinner thing, and we're working and I'm hoping to finish finalizing some stuff, and then I need to send out an email to everybody tomorrow about the barbecue for books fundraiser, which we're hoping is going to be somewhat like, probably not quite as big as the spaghetti turnout, but we're hoping.
Well,
Is
and
that definite?
What day did you
Go ahead.
We are looking at October 16th. I know it's like right there with fall break, but it's when we've had like, because Bob's going to be gone for the 9th, and I'm trying to work around the Vassar Center schedule.
And is it gonna be a luncheon?
It will be like, I believe we're looking at 11 to 2, so we're trying to get, yeah, with the idea of it being available after church, because it is on a Sunday.
So if every church would announce it, we could have a big
Yeah.
That's
so
what
said,
I'm hoping
that's-
for.
yes,
As soon as I
sounds
can
great.
get the flyers pulled together, and I was talking to Rachel because she's going to be helping us out with that. I think she's actually the one that recommended to see if we can get all the churches to put it up. So,
How many will-
Talk to the Ministerial Alliance.
How many will the Vassar building hold for a meal?
That's a good question.
Well,
I mean,
from
if you're
11 to-
talking about all these people coming from church,
Yeah.
It's a lot of people, which would be awesome. But
yeah,
we-
it would be
You gotta have
awesome.
the facilities
If
for
you
it.
don't have, they don't have to wait in line for their lunch.
Absolutely.
That's,
Well,
even though,
we were talking about potentially up to 500 tickets, so yeah, that's a very good
really,
question.
I don't think 500 would fit in there.
It would not. But, you know, it's,
500 isn't going to fit in the.
Oh, no.
yeah, but you gotta think, I don't know much about churches, but some of their things are over at 10, some over at 11, so it should be
Right,
staggered
I'm
out. I mean, I'm
hoping
not
to
every
stagger
church
and then
gets out
maybe-
at the same
Yeah.
time.
most of them though get out between 11:30 and 12.
Yeah.
And that's when you'll have the rush. I mean,
Yeah.
now,
I would just make to-go an option, having to-go boxes, so that people just grab it and go, like we do at the city dinner. because-
Last year spaghetti dinner, there was 250 boxes picked up and left. Yeah,
that would be,
like they didn't come and sit, they took them with them because they had ball games going on and they had other things going on that night. And so they were like picking up and going.
I love you all, but
now how, setting the building up, I mean, how far have you gone as far as,
The logistics.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have to go over there and take a look.
will we have to set up the tables? Do we?
Those tables are usually already set up when you rent the space. The tables are already there. They've got tablecloths on them. You just have to decide how you're gonna set up your serving line, that kind of thing.
What about cost?
I need to get with Bob a bit more and figure out what all we need.
Yeah, you'll have to purchase it then.
And who's providing everything? You said he's going to do the meat.
He said he would do the meat. We're hoping to do like sides and desserts and hope to get donations from people who were like part of the boards and like the friends. And I'm working on corralling some of my Girl Scout people to be like, hey, you know how I've done that forever? I need you to bring macaroni.
Well, do you say that he's doing the meat, is he buying it or is he just cooking it? So we have to
He
purchase?
will be the one, I believe, cooking it, but he believes that
What are
I think the Masons might
what
help
are the
donate
Masons
some of it.
doing? Are they renting the building and providing the meat?
I think they're gonna help provide the meat, and then they will be matching our donations up to, you said 1,500.
Will Bob also furnish the sauce? I mean, there is sauce that will go with this meat.
And drinks.
I'm gonna
I
start
believe
going
we're looking
to
at doing
restaurants and
like
get
tea,
some-
water,
Just a little bit
maybe
here and
coffee.
It costs to buy, to rent it, it's
Some
like
of those
300
containers
for the
like
day.
the dried lemonade.
300 for the day, and then, but they only allow like 90.
It is-
I think you're gonna have to have a committee,
Yeah. That would be
and
good.
then that committee will have to meet once or twice or 3 times, you know,
Yeah, that's
to be
a month away,
organized,
so.
you know.
You got a month to plan.
As to what you serve, you know what I mean, what goes with this barbecue? Are you going to have a potato, or, I mean, it's a lunch,
Yeah.
but
We're gonna be in charge of the sides.
Well, you have beans, barbecued beans.
And I've also
salad.
heard that Bob was asked for permission to rent out the parking lot at the new build, the new library, for car sales? Is that something that,
Like a used car lot right there, so they'll pay us just to park cars there. Separate
Is that
than
count as
the,
fundraising, or is that a separate agenda issue?
I have no idea. Was the intent as a
that the, Well, that there would be a cost to rent the library
There would be,
parking lot,
and
but would that
money
go
would
to the
into
library?
building fund, I'm
Like as a
assuming.
As a
fundraiser, like
fundraiser.
That's
go
what I was
to
like-
friends of the library or?
I just don't wanna overcross anything.
Does he already have a request from someone to do that?
Yeah, the gas station across the street.
Oh, okay.
I'm so sorry, I thought I sent that to you guys too. If not, I will definitely look, I will look over all my email stuff and I need to get
Huckabee was throwing around the idea of having the barbecue at the library, at the new library.
I think we did consider that because it will start to be cooling down, but I need to, like, we would have to be able to get a hold of tables, and it is dark in there. I've got no way to put AC or bathrooms, and we do have those giant concrete canyons
Trenches.
going through most
Yes.
of the building that might be a
It wouldn't
hazard.
be that wouldn't be a very good idea.
And there's still a big hole. If I can get
But
that hole
then
filled in the
people would
back-
see our needs,
Oh,
right?
they
Get
can-
there and go, okay,
It
yeah,
would
there's
hold,
about
it would
this.
hold more than 90 people.
But there's no kitchen, you know, I mean,
That's true.
there's an awful
It's
lot
not usable.
involved in
Water for making
having it
drinks.
there. Yeah.
If we can possibly like figure out how to cover up those holes, and I'm hoping to see if maybe even we can't figure out a way to close up that masonry in the back. I am hoping that maybe even in the spring to do more events down there and get people in there. I also have to run a magnet over the parking lot. By the way, if you go down there, be very careful, park towards the front, like the roadside of that parking lot, because there are so many screws and nails throughout there. Like, I went walking in there, I picked up like a handful of nails. So I needed to just get a big magnet and drag it. But just be careful.
So the barbecue thing is the only fundraiser that we have.
At the moment, and that's coming up.
And it is approved, and who approves
Yes.
that? Is that the friends that are, who's,
This was more on Bob and the Masons idea that started that.
okay.
So I assumed if the city manager approved it, I
Yeah,
was good,
yeah.
so.
I'm just,
What happened to the no dinner dinner?
One of the best fundraising things is if you
That's
can
in April.
find,
Okay, so it's still going, that's
Yeah.
happening?
Yes.
if you can find one donor to give a
That's what
big
I'm trying
amount
for.
and then match it a couple of times.
So that'd be the other thing too, is if I can find a donor, I don't, like, I've heard about like the matching thing, but I don't know who else, like, I would get to match it. Consider it.
Well, I think you just have
corporation or something.
everybody,
Yeah.
just
Oh,
advertise it
yeah,
and just anybody can match it.
Gotcha.
So the date
mean,
was
can-
October 16th?
16.
The ninth is out then.
I think so.
Okay.
Or wait,
I
like,
think it has to be done in.
This says the 9th, on your just report it says the 9th.
did I say, maybe it was the 9th, okay, I'm right.
I know
Check to see if I
the
wrote it down.
16th wasn't that fall breakers?
Oh, it's the beginning of fall break. Like that Monday.
That Friday, whatever.
That's a 16th is a Sunday, then Monday would start fall break, right?
Now I'm wondering,
It
like, to
just-
get myself all
Friday.
twisted up.
Yeah, the 16th is.
Because we talked about it this morning, and I know we picked one, and now I'm like second guessing myself. I can double check in the morning and then send it out to everybody and get the actual date.
on August 26th, you said October 16th
Okay.
is the Sunday of fall break.
Okay.
I will be, oh, that was somebody else.
Yeah, that's what I saw. That's what I saw.
Sounds,
When does the Friends meet?
We're friends and we're meeting right now.
Calendar.
Is that not what you mean? Sorry. Terrible joke. No, I just, terrible
no,
joke.
I agree with whoever said you'd really need a committee to,
Yeah, that's why I thought that the next
Get
Friends meeting, maybe you could get them involved in in setting up a committee.
Right.
Nikki, I think we should just get people from all the different boards and committees.
Yeah.
Nikki for ours would be happy to be on it.
she would be great.
Jake?
How about you, Jake?
Not to like throw you under the bus there. I mean,
No, that's exactly what I meant to do.
How about you, Jake? Would you like to head this committee? It's, You're just into so
I've got
many.
a 3-year-old.
Oh,
so-
yes.
But I'm gonna make sides. I'm gonna make desserts. I'm gonna be there.
Oh, well.
Hobnobbing when it happens.
Okay.
I don't know that I can commit to a committee though. But yeah,
I'm only on campus 2 days a week, so it's nice. Well, I just think that, I mean, that's like a month, 5 weeks away, so it's gonna be a lot of planning. Because at the elementary, when we do spaghetti dinner, we start about 6 months ahead of time. So it's just gonna be a lot that will have to be done in the next 5 weeks. No, it's fine. I'm just saying, like, you have to get all 3 boards to participate. Like, it can't fall on just Friends or just the trust or just the board.
She said that room is only rated for 90 people.
It
Something
is
like
the
that.
16th. Okay, so I'm not crazy. All right, so it is the 16th.
okay, it's 16.
Where did I put?
Charlotte, did you say that 90 people?
Something like that. I want to say it was like 90 or 100. It was fairly a small number.
Yeah, it's a
I mean,
small.
if it's late, I mean, hopefully it's cooled down a little bit. I mean, can we get tables outside so you go in and
Or
serve?
the pickups.
Do we have to pay for the facility?
I will double check.
The Masons are
To rent it's
I
like
didn't
$300.
think so, but I will double check.
I don't think.
Because
Does
Oak
the
Park
city
is
own it
cheaper
then?
and it's bigger.
I don't think the city could give us a break, isn't that like? No?
Yeah, that's an
Oh,
idea.
it's, we'll pay you $300 for the facility, and then you can add that $300 to our fundraising.
Nancy, what do you think of that?
Think of what?
Oak Park's a lot bigger.
It's a lot bigger, but I'm gonna tell you that you would have to pay. Because I'm just saying that you would have to pay for the room. And I'm not sure how much that is.
It's not much. It's like 150.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
Oak Park.
So,
And it's bigger.
We're not, okay. They said that we're not for the Vassar Center.
Oh, we're not paying.
But it only seats 200, let's say, which isn't,
Let's make it reasonable.
well,
Yeah.
90 to 100. Now, I still think they'll be waiting in line unless you're going to push takeout meals.
It's getting tables and chairs. I mean, people have tables and chairs, right? Get their tables and chairs. People can sit outside. Too hot.
I think you'd be great to head that committee.
The chair and table committee. I want a committee for every aspect. The sauce committee. I want.
Yes.
This is part of that planning I think he's talking about. It's so time consuming.
So this fall, that's the only fundraiser, right? The barbecue dinner?
But just before we move to something else, just because I just thought of this, what's the deal with October? Is there something that prevents us from pushing it into November, or, I mean, why is that date? Is it the Masons or Bob have? I mean, I just didn't know if that's something we could consider. Is can we push this out another month? In that way, it gives us more time. Why did we decide on October? Just because we're
It's something where Bob initially threw it out in October, and then those 2 dates were open with the Vassar Center.
it might be
I
worth
don't know if there
looking
is
at.
a reason with the Masons. I could check. I don't know if maybe they're like eager to go.
Yeah.
If you had pre-dinner sales, you'd get an idea as to how many,
That's true.
you know, to expect, whether it's
Or
takeout
some-
or stay in.
So Rachel has said that takeout will be available, and the Vassar Center seats 135.
Okay.
5. Still,
They don't have enough tables set up for
No, they don't
135
have
people.
I haven't seen them.
There's not enough tables for 135 people. I know that because we had a family reunion in there this summer.
well, I've asked about Oak Park and I'll let everybody know when I find out something.
Did you find out if there's any particular reason they would prefer to have it there? Then how many does Oak Park seat if you use both of those rooms? Do they have-
Well, we'd probably want to use Dickerson. It's got a small kitchen in it, because I know,
So they do the community.
no,
Dinners?
that's Wayman.
Oh.
But Dickerson is a much bigger room, and it's just got a small kitchen, but it's pretty pricey to rent the big commercial kitchen and things. I do know that.
Well, that's
Dickinson.
probably why they decided on the Vassar building, because they aren't gonna charge, right?
Right. There's no charge for the Vassar.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but we're just really scrimping to pay.
Yeah,
You know, we haven't let anybody be freebie there because we're just trying to meet our costs.
Yeah. And yes, we would be trying to push tickets sales before the event. We would
because you
still do some
don't
at the
know
door,
how
but-
much meat to order
Exactly.
or sauce to make.
And I do
Or-
need to send out like a note to the bank to see if they would be willing to have some tickets there for us. And see, I don't know with the schools, because it would be for the library. I know like with like Wednesday folders, you don't normally do like fundraiser things there, but if it's for the library, maybe I gotta draw up a draft and send that to our.
I do fundraiser stuff, eh? Put it in
Well,
there.
if it's on a Sunday, I think you better push churches.
Yes, and,
Yeah.
and hoping to put them off with churches.
Yeah, I mean,
So
and we have quite a few here in town.
Rachel, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go. I've gotta be somewhere else. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
Jennifer, what did I call you? What did I call you?
Rachel.
Rachel. Sorry, it just came in my head. That's what happens when you
I still.
retire.
When you get old?
I was
When
gonna
you get,
say,
no, I don't wanna say
Do you
that.
have any other ideas for fundraisers floating around besides just the barbecue?
I mean, I've got some floaters, but they're all on the smaller, around like that kind of thing. And that's where I was kind of asking before I pitched too much. Like, have we had things that have done well or things that haven't? I don't know if this community's really like into like the little fundraising type events or not so much. Would be worth it or not worth
In
it?
the past, we've done, like in this room in the evenings, like a painting class. Jessica Demuth, who's the art teacher in Ripley, came
You
and
did
like
your
like a
charcuterie.
yeah, I did my charcuterie class. That was a fundraiser. But they're just smaller ones.
Oh, yeah.
I really wonder if I would to organize everything.
I really think we should look at, I mean, if it has to be October, then we buckle down and do what we have to do, but if we could push it out a little bit, I think it would be,
I believe the reason behind the October date is the Masons were available on
okay.
those 2 days,
Okay.
either the 9th or the 16th, and the 16th was chosen.
Okay.
And Bob is apparently working on getting meat donated. He will be making it, is my understanding, preparing it, but donation of the meat.
How many people can fit in the lion's den for a meal?
Not very many.
Okay.
Not as many as Vassar.
Less than the
Yeah.
less than Vassar's.
So we're in all the buildings and how many can fit in?
All right, anything else on that, or?
Nope.
Okay. We don't have to do anything, we can just move to new business. Is there any new business that we had not foreseen?
That we can talk about.
Yeah. Well, someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it. I'm not allowed to make motions. I can't. I can only second for some.
Okay, but Nikki and Jake
Uh-huh.
and Charlotte and Virginia.
Yes.